I was doing what in India we call chilla. It's a 40-day practice, but you must have a proper diet. You must go away into a place where there's no people, and you must clean yourself. It's a special, worship that you do. So when you're doing that for 40 days, for many hours every day, 12 hours, 14 hours, sometimes 16 hours, you do that, your mind, it goes to a different place because of the vibration of the music, and doing the same thing all the time sometimes puts you in a trance. And in that trance state, you see many things, and you experience many things. And one of the experiences for me was that I was transported to a land or to a place where I was playing, and the people had fair skin and they had blonde hair, and I was playing for them, and they were enjoying very much, and they like me to play more and more and more. So that vision I had in my chilla, and so I guess I saw before I went to Europe or to America that I was going to go there. But it's also possible that when I was doing my chilla, my father was already traveling in the world. So I knew where he had gone, and I had seen photographs of his friends and students. So maybe the influence was there in my trance, and I saw the same things that he had told me about. It's possible that that was there. So I don't say that this is something divine that came. I just say that it's probably the influence of listening, seeing the photos, thinking about the other part of the world, and then see it in the trance, in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I did. Well, there are various parts in any kind of discipline, whether it is meditation, whether it is painting or drumming, or even business, even working at an office. There are certain disciplines, and in Indian music, well, there is twofold discipline. One discipline is, of course, when you are in your home and you're practicing in your place of your teacher. It's very much like prayer. It's like worship. It's like meditation. It's very pure, very reverent. Reverence is the word. But when you are, so that's one. But when you're on the stage, you're also an entertainer. You're an artist who people gave money to come and see, and you get on stage. And some of those people came because they want to be in a prayer, in a worship. But then there are a lot of those people who came because they want to enjoy themselves, have fun. So you're caught in between, and so you just play the music to enjoy, to have fun, to relax, to entertain. But even in that, sometimes there are times, there are little moments when you can be lost, when you are in a different state of mind, when you become close to your teacher or close to the gods and goddesses of the music. You get lost, the magic happens. And so it can happen on the stage as well, but I think it does not happen as much on the stage as it does when you are in your own time practicing, working and praying to your Guru. So there are these two different states of mind in Indian art and culture. I think my problem was that I was a child artist. I was a child musician, and when I grew up and I was 17 or 16, I was not a child artist anymore, but I was still a young boy. But the audience and the connoisseurs, they thought that now I must play like a mature old man, not a 16-year-old boy. And that was a little difficult for me to understand and handle. So I came to a point in my career where I was not going up more. There was something I needed, this one push. I needed some more inspiration. I needed to open this or open here or wherever. I had to do that. It was a good thing that I went away from India, because I did not have to worry about newspaper in India writing, oh, he played bad today. Oh, it's okay today, kind of thing. Why doesn't he get better? Why doesn't he play like a master? That kind of thing. I was a child star. So they did right, but in the first few years there was not bad. Always good, always good, always good. And afterwards, then, well, it's good, but he's not changing. What's happening? There's nothing new, that kind of thing. So it was good to go away and then just work on my music and learn, see, and pick up good things from everywhere. And then I got a chance to come and study in America, and also to play some concerts with a friend musician of mine, Ashish Khan. So I took that chance to come and do that, because I thought that if I go away, maybe I will get a little time to myself to think. Maybe there's something I'm missing that I will find if I just get a chance to sit and think and not worry about playing concerts in India. If I play outside India, nobody will criticize me, and I'll have time to think of things to do. And that's why I came to America and went to the university. And there, of course, everything became so open. I could hear African music, Arabic music, gamelons from Indonesia, Chinese classical music, Japanese opera music. Everything was available. In those days, you used to call it ethnomusicology, which is doing PhD in ethnic music, because only Western music is Western classical music. Everything else is ethnic music. This is the way that things work in the white world. So even if there's Chinese classical opera or Japanese classical music or Indian classical music, it's still called ethnic music. It's not called classical music. So in any case, it was called ethnic music. So I studied. Now I think it's called world music. So I was studying that and doing my PhD, trying to do my PhD in it. And also I was teaching there at the University of Washington in Seattle. So when Adi Akbar Khan offered me to teach in his college in California, I took the chance and started playing with him, more tours and everywhere in the world, and teaching and everything with him. And these windows, they started to open, because new creativity came, because I needed to be with somebody who would point in the right place. And Ali Akbar Khan was one of the people who did that. Ravi Shankar is another person who did that for me, and I was in touch with these people a lot. So it was great. Finally, when I started to listen more and more and more, then I was in touch with Mickey Hart, the drummer, and was in touch with Ola Tunji and Ayrton Moreira and Tony Williams and various people, and John McLaughlin and John Handy, and so many great musicians I came in touch with, and I was playing with them, and learning so much more, and all those influences came into me. It was like give and take. A little tabla from me, a little congas from you, kind of thing. It's like, you go to somebody's house, you bring flowers. So I went to Olatunji's house and brought flowers, meaning teen tal or whatever, rhythms. And when he came to my house, he brought me flowers, which was, Mozambique or Wamako or whatever, anything. The knowledge exchanged, I learned a lot with these great masters, working with them. And all those influences opened my mind a lot more, and that little push I needed came. So it's been a big learning experience for the past 20 years, and it's still going on. It's funny, you think you come out to learn something, to open some windows in your mind so that you can understand more and maybe have a little bit more to do in your music. And then you find that the more you do, there's much more to do. It's never ending. It's really, sometimes you think maybe it is better not to know so much. Then you can just do what you know and just do that. You know how it is when you're playing the violin, for instance, and you have Vivaldi, or you have Tchaikovsky, or you have various composers who've written violin concertos or something. So it's for violin and the concerto is written and you play it. Okay? So you're playing the material on the instrument. Okay? But then there are other people who not just play the material on the instrument, but they also try to see what the instrument can do. Is there any more in the instrument to do? That kind of a thing. So I'm not just playing tabla or just material of tabla and tabla. I'm trying to see what more I can do with my instrument. How many more sounds are there? How much I can improve it? What combinations are there that I can do, which will be different, which will not necessarily be done in Indian repertoire, but can expand the repertoire. And all this is coming from all the influences from other drummers from various places. Tata Queen is from Cuba, or Giovanni Hidalgo from Puerto Rico, or Ayrton Moreira from Brazil, or Olatunji from Nigeria. I mean, all these people, they play drums in such a way, the hand drums, that they're not only just playing the drum and the material from the drum, on the drum, but they're trying to talk to their instrument. They're trying to, open the veils, look inside, They're not just boom, they're going, what else is there? So this is an important thing which we didn't do in India. We have such fabulous music, 5,000 years old music, and the music is so complicated, so scientific, so creative, it's all there. But it's music played on the instrument, but not the instrument expressing itself. So that's something, that aspect, I think, is something that I'm trying to do, which I guess it's different or innovative. There is a contradiction in India, because in Indian music they say you must improvise, you must create new music, new combination. From the same old combination, you make new combination. But at the same time, it also says it has to be this. So you have limits, So it contradicts itself. It says do new, but it has to be old. It cannot be new, it has to be old, but it has to be new. So there's a very fine line of creativity which you must understand. And that's what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to be doing something new in my instrument, but I'm also trying to keep it old and at the same time have something new. So that's a very fine line, and I'm learning to understand that. Because I see that I may not be able to do new repertoire, but at least I can make the old repertoire sound like new. And that's what I'm attempting to do. But it's possibly because perhaps I take a lot of chances when I'm on stage. I'm not afraid to look bad. I don't mind if I look bad. It's okay. I've learned that. I've learned that by traveling all over the world, that it's okay to be bad every now and then, if you're taking the chance to be good.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I try to do is when I get on stage, I don't try to fix things that I know, and I don't try to always say, okay, this is my repertoire and this is very good for me, so I will play something in this area. No. I will attempt whatever my mind wants to do at that time. Even if it means it's dangerous, I may not get it, I may not do it, maybe it will look bad, it doesn't matter. So that's a chance you take. And lately, touch wood, I've been lucky. But it can change very easily. You're talking about two different times of tabla. There's a modern time and there's the old time of tabla. Now, what happened was, in the old times, 100 years ago or 75 years ago, there was always tabla as a solo instrument also. In music festivals or in the king's palace or something, it was there. But as an instrument to play with somebody like sitar or sarod or vocal, it was always an instrument in the back, only to keep the time. Nothing, no interaction. Then, like about 40 years ago, 45 years ago, new style of playing developed, where there was interaction between tabla and the instrument, sitar, sarod, dance, vocal. So you see that all the time now, like me and Shiv Kumar or Ravi Shankar and Alaraka, my father, and so on and on. So there was always these interactions. So these interactions became so popular, so well known, and tabla became a very important instrument on the stage, not just the instrument in the back. So everybody thought, oh, now there is no need to solo tabla because it's almost equal now with. But then, like 25 years ago or so, my father and Alaraka and really worked very hard to make tabla also a solo instrument again. They said, yes, it's okay for accompaniment, it's very good, the interaction is great, but there's such a special tradition of tabla solo and a special repertoire to play for tabla solo that you must not forget this must continue. So they worked very hard to do this, and one of the most popular people to do this was my father, because he was the one who played tabla solo first time on the radio station. On the radio. There was no tabla solo on the radio for a long time, so he did that, and people thought it was great, and it happened more and more and more. And now it is to a point where I play a lot of tabla solo, and many other young tabla players are playing a lot of tabla solo concerts, and which was 25 years ago not very common. So he worked very hard to do that. What used to happen was they always thought that everybody knows what they're doing, so they never had to say anything. They just thought that, oh, we just play. So some people understood, some people did not understand, so the impression was less. It was not so communicative. But now we take the time. When we are playing, we tell people what we are doing, and we sing the rhythms, and we explain the rhythms, and we tell the history of the rhythm. It's almost like a journey through the history of drumming when we are performing to play. So everybody knows what's going on. They understand the the roots and the connection, and also they understand the rhythms, the combinations and all the old phrases and everything. So it's much more exciting that way. So now therefore it's become a new thing, it's a new package. It's still the old things, it's just, like I was saying, to try and play the old compositions but make them sound like new. That's the idea. Because see, the point is the audience wants to come and enjoy the concerts, but there are quite a few of them who want to enjoy the concert and also want to go home thinking that they learned something also. That's an important thing. And our job as artists and musicians is to make sure that the culture stays, that the repertoire stays, the roots are there all the time. And to do that, we must teach it. We must make people understand it, so they learn it and it stays with them all the time. Teen Tao or some such thing, I don't know what it was. It was great. It was fun. Okay. I mean, so that's one kind of a person. But it would be nice if the person knew, hey, something, this is an old tradition. Do you know it's 2,000 years old? Or do you know that they have compositions? And do you know that these compositions can be of all kinds of things, of nature, of gods and goddesses, of romance, of whatever, they express moods, emotions, everything. That's another kind of an audience who go home like that. So I'm of the opinion that that's important. Because I'm not a teacher, I consider myself a friend of the audience. Because I'm also part of the audience. When I'm playing, I'm actually learning. I'm finding out that I'm doing something and I haven't done it this way before, this is interesting. Or I'm noticing something else that's possible here. So I'm also learning. So I'm also an audience. I find different ways of communicating to the people what I'm playing. And by finding those different ways, I'm also teaching me those ways. So. Making a project is not that, it's second. First, I want to work with you, I want to play with you and enjoy myself and learn a bit more, exchange knowledge, exchange ideas. That's very important. And after that, if you feel we should do a project, fine. That's not the most important part of it. So I'm of that nature, and I like to work like that. I don't like to approach people thinking that I'm going to make a fabulous record with them. No. That's not necessary. I'd rather be friends with them on a musical and a personal level than make records. So people call up, like Ernesto Moreira called up. Well, the point is, I'm not going to try and be an African. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to try and be a jazz drummer. I'm just going to be me. And through me, whatever flows, whether it is jazz or African or Latin or pop or rock or Metallica, whatever, if everything flows through me, as me, that's important. And so what is necessary is that there will be no borders, but there will be identities. For me, Zakir Hussain is the border. How expansive that border is, it's just still me. Once I stop being Zakir Hussain, then there is confusion. Then there is no sense, because there's no roots. There's nothing to connect everything to. It's like a mountain climber. When he climbs the mountain, he puts a hook in the rock and hooks his rope through there before he goes further up. Because if he falls, he has that hook. That root, the tradition is there. Mm-hmm. It's very strong. If that's there, then you can be a media for everything to flow through you, because it will all have its place. It's like the rainbow. All the colors come through, but it's not confusing. They all have their own place. So that's important. Identity.
That's a good expression for the whole thing.
I think we should stop it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for now, and we can continue if we see each other again. And where are we seeing each other again?
When?
Where?
In Boston.
So we won't see each other again now at all.
No, I come to Düsseldorf.
So we can sit and talk there.
And I come also to your last concert here in Basel.
Okay, so we'll have some more time to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can talk again in America,
Mm-hmm.
in Boston, or California, in my office, the president's office, with my jacket. And no, I don't wear all that. I go like this. Okay.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Bye for now.